Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I'm the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. What's happening, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Welcome to 0 to 60 on the Believe Network and YouTube. Bailey's on the 1 to the 2s. We got a lot to talk about here today on this fantastic Monday, coming off of a pretty kick-ass weekend of football. Let's pay some bills, Bailey, and get going. And, yeah, man, let's roll.
Man, this is going to be a great show. We got a lot to talk about today. This show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with constant real-time odds in action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA and college basketball, NHL, UFC, and boxing, head to the website today to see why BetOnline is America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. Matt, man, what a weekend of football. Like, college football is great. I mean, college football on Saturday, Friday championship weekend was great, in my opinion. Then you translated next day in the NFL. I thought it was a great NFL Sunday. Seahawks win. That Rams-Bills games was unbelievable. But, Matt, how are you feeling on this fine Monday?
I'm good, man. It was a great weekend. The championship games were pretty kick-ass. It's crazy to me how many teams from other conferences were, playing for titles and or winning titles. We'll talk about the bracket. I guess I don't understand, but we can figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to watch the games. I think it's going to be awesome. You got to play who you play, but I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain it to me better. That said, I thought the games were awesome. The 56-yard field goal by the Clemson kid was fucking incredible. You can earn your way into things by winning football games. That's a big part of football.
Mm-hmm.
I this morning on JB's show talking about just the teams that they want in. Who gives a fuck what everybody wants? I want CU to go to the playoff. That doesn't mean they're going to. They didn't win the games that they needed to win. So, it's SMU. You can't be penalized for playing in a title game. I guess Penn State should be out too because they lost, right? So
yeah, I mean it's interesting.
Out too. They lost. So fuck it. That you shouldn't be penalized unless both teams are in. See, the thing is SMU and Clemson both got in. Alabama was on the outside looking in. Ole Miss is on the outside looking in. Miami's on the outside looking in. You didn't do enough. Lost 3 games. Clemson lost 3 games, and the only reason they're in is because they won their conference. So I thought the weekend of football was incredible. Sunday was nuts. The fucking Bills-Rams game was one of the best football games I've ever watched.
Mm-hmm.
Ever in the history of football games. I wish that the goddamn Super Bowl would be like that.
Yeah.
That shit was nuts, bro. It was fucking nuts. And Matthew Stafford was lacing him sidearm and he looked awesome. And Josh Allen, I don't know how Josh Allen doesn't win the MVP, bro. He is special. He is so good. But then Saquon is about to break the rushing record. So I'm just football's at an all-time high right now. There's a lot of bad shit going on, but one thing that gave me a lot of good feelings was I watched an SEC title game where there were 3 or 4 massive hits that weren't called.
Yeah.
They were just not called. They were just hit. They were hit and this is one of the hardest hits I've ever seen. This guy died on the field.
Unbelievable.
Got up. They put Carson Beck in and he couldn't move his arm and they scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like Georgia really showed me something, bro. Georgia's tough as fuck.
Tough.
Like Georgia will just keep lining up and just keep coming at you. I mean, that Stockton kid came in and balled out.
Mhm.
And when he took that hit, I thought he was dead.
Me too.
And like his mother,
crazy.
his mother up in the stands, like, oh my God, like, yeah, lady, your son just got killed.
Yeah.
But he bumped straight up, and the refs called it a non-targeting, which I was amazed because it's not targeting. It's just getting hit.
Yeah, it's football. Like
Last night in the Kansas City game, they called like 3 or 4 targeting penalties that were just getting hit. The NFL's got to stop with this shit.
Yeah, the NFL
is so flag happy. Every time you hit somebody, it's a fucking penalty. But in college, the Arizona State game, that was not a targeting either. But anytime you hit somebody with helmet to helmet, they're going to call it.
Yeah.
So you just got to find out. You got to get your target lower. But everybody's leading with their shoulders, and the fucking hits are big, and they were. I mean, for real, bro. I'm watching the game, and Bree's sitting next to me, and that hit came, and I was so excited, I pushed her off the sofa. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, it was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, they're I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so I'm happy with the Buffs getting the Alamo Bowl bid. It's ideal. It's not the bid I wanted. Iowa State gets to go play fucking Miami, but not CU. But it is, everybody understand why. Because CU is still under contract with the Pac-12 to be a bowl game.
Yeah. And let's talk about this Alamo Bowl matchup. Just what are your thoughts of this? I mean, I think Matt obviously we knew that this was kind of inevitable. We could hope, we could say what if. I mean, I don't know if I think everyone has seen this within the Buffalo community. The FaceTime of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders and Bucky and their quarterback coach. I'm going to go ahead and show it, but what if they could have played? Take a listen here.
State, man. Who do y'all play? Them Iowa State, man. Oh, you play Iowa State? Yeah, I got to get ready for the Pop-Tart Bowl. Y'all play Iowa State? Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a reaction to it. Matt, what is your reaction to just Colorado landing in the Alamo Bowl? And we'll start there. Go ahead.
Look, I'm pumped that they're in a bowl game, and a good one. Like the Alamo Bowl is a good bowl game. I played it in college. We played Wisconsin and actually lost in overtime, but it's a great bowl game. BYU's in trouble. I'm just saying it right now. BYU is in fucking trouble, bro. Like, you better hold on to your ass, BYU, because Colorado and Coach Prime, and this is the last ride of the Sanders family, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try and throw for 700 yards. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Travis Hunter scores every time he touches the ball. Like, they're going to pull out all the stops, all the strings. It is – Coach Prime's already said it's going to be super emotional, and it should be. Yeah. I'm going to do everything in my power to get to San Antonio and go to this game because it's going to be special. The fact that they're playing is big time too. I think it's must watch. I'm super excited about it. Again, we haven't won a goddamn bowl game in Boulder since I was a senior. So I held the last trophy up there with my pads on. I'm like, hey, hi, me and Joel up there fucking talking shit. And 20 years later, we still haven't won a bowl game since. So that trend needs to stop this year. I thought it would, and now it's here. So I'm disappointed that they're not in the playoff. Watching Arizona State take that 4 seed, I think that the Big 12 championship game and all, it's all of its splendor was an ass beating. Iowa State probably didn't deserve to be there, but they won the tiebreakers. It makes me wish in one hand that CU was there playing Arizona State. I think that it would have been a very competitive, great game. I don't know if we would have won or not, bro. Arizona State's pretty fucking good, and Scatterboo is a goddamn animal, and they're on one right now. But, hey, I think the game would have been incredible. So, it makes you really sit back and realize the importance of each game, that going up against Kansas State. The Kansas game is what it is. That was a throttling. The Kansas State game is the one I'm more upset about. Yeah. Like Kansas State, we were up with 1:30 left. Like Shedeur took us down the field, scored a touchdown. The game's over. and we couldn't cover the receiver, and like the wheel route for 30, and then the receiver deep, and the game's over. And that's really the one that most burns my ass. Now, it's a good thing because we need hated rivals in the new Big 12. And Kansas State's an old Big 12 North rival, and there's no love lost there. And now this new generation of CU fans can hate them as much as I do, and that's good. But other than that, that's what rivals do to you. They knock you out of shit. So that's really the game that I think knocked us out. We lost to 3 Big 12 North rivals just right down here in Thomas, Kansas, Kansas State, Nebraska. That pisses me off. Because those are 3 teams that we played every year when I was playing here, and it was always at the end of the season, not the beginning. But it's the K-State game. I said this at the beginning of the year. Whenever we wanted to achieve our goals, we had to go through Manhattan and Lincoln.
Yeah,
Nebraska, we lost to them, but it was a non-conference game. But every time when I was playing, whenever we beat Kansas State, we played for a title. And whenever we lost to Kansas State, they played for a title. So we lost to Kansas State this year. They didn't go, but neither did we. So they might as well have played for the fucking title. You feel me? Like
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter who Arizona State throttles in that game if it's not us. So look, the Big 12 title was awesome for Arizona State. I'm tip my cap to Kenny Dillingham. What a stud of a coach. For everything that's happened in a positive manner in Boulder. You got to sit back and really tip your cap with Kenny and everything he's done at Arizona State, being an alum. They're going to be a powerhouse, bro. Like he's got them rolling. So that's pretty awesome. First year that they're in the conference and they win. So, I think that the opportunity in this Alamo Bowl is huge. You got an opportunity to win 10 games. You got an opportunity to showcase Shedeur one more time. Yeah, he just won the Johnny Unitas Award. He's about to win I'm sure he'll win the Maxwell and whatever else. He'll be a Heisman finalist. Yeah. You get to showcase Travis Hunter being the Heisman winner. Obviously he'll probably win the Biletnikoff as well. He should win the Thorpe Award, but that I don't know what they're thinking in that room, but whatever. Yeah. The whole Ashton Gentry, Travis Hunter beef thing. Like, look, Gentry is an unbelievable player, but I don't even think he's the best running back in the country, let alone the Heisman.
Scatterbo, pretty damn good.
I do. I think Scatterbo is better than Gentry. So I think both of them are special. So I'm not trying to take away from the kid. I just take Scatterbo over Gentry. I think Scatterbo, the Heisman finalists right now are Travis Shedeur, Scatterbo, and Gentry. Those are the 4 guys going to New York. So, look, Travis is going to win, and he should. The running backs had unbelievable years, and any other year, one of them would probably win the Heisman, but that isn't this year. This is Travis's season. So, the Alamo Bowl needs to be like just a farewell party. They need to go out and absolutely shit stomp BYU. We haven't played BYU since Lavelle Edwards and Bill McCartney were the 2 coaches in the 80s. So this is an opportunity to go, and go introduce them to what they're going to walk into next year when we play them. So, it's very rarely do you get conference on conference games. We have a conference game to finish the season at the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. So I'm for it, bro. I think it's a great look and a great bowl game. And I wish that we played Miami just like they do. Yeah. Cam and Shedeur, like the bowl game people, like you couldn't have just fucking amended one thing and made this happen. Like Colorado, Miami would have been absolute fucking crazy.
Legendary.
Would have been crazy. So, that like Cam Moore's not going to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, bro. He would play if Colorado was there. If Colorado and Miami were playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl, wherever it is. Where is it? In Florida?
The Pop-Tart Bowl, let's see here. I think Cam Ward's playing in it. I think he said he's playing in it.
Fucking guy is not
Orlando.
He's not going to play in the game. There's no reason to play in the game to go play against Iowa State. Yeah, right. We'll see. But he would definitely be playing, and all of his guys would be playing if CU was walking in the door.
No doubt.
That would be a great game, and just 2 iconic brands that the last time they played, they got in a huge goddamn fight. In Boulder, last time they played in Boulder, they got in a huge fight, and a bunch of people got ejected. And the last time they played in Miami, Miami beat CU 23-20 on like a fucking 50-yard field goal. So I'm going to try and make it to the bowl, but I don't know if I can make it down there. It's in the middle of Christmas. But if I don't, then we'll do our last watch party and have some fun. You know, the opportunity here to go rectify some Alamo Bowl, you know, cobwebs too. Last couple of times we've been to this bowl game, it didn't turn out very well. We went in 2020, lost to Texas. 2016, lost to Oklahoma State. And in 2002, we lost to Wisconsin. So, you know, it's an opportunity to go get an Alamo Bowl trophy because it's been a while. So I think that we're good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I understand Colorado fans may be disappointed with this, but
how can you be disappointed, dog?
That's my point.
3 fucking years of shit.
That's my point. And also think about it. I think this is a great match for Colorado. I think Colorado is at a significant advantage athletically, especially in the perimeter, and I think they're going to take advantage of it. One thing I want to show is Coach Prime's just initial comments, reaction to getting the Owl Bowl and taking on BYU. Take a listen here. He says everyone is playing, but we've discussed that before.
A plethora of seniors that are pro-bound. And guess what? Every last one of them are going to play. We don't tap out. We don't sit out. It's a blessing to play this wonderful game. Our kids are going to play. We got a kid that's probably going to pick up, not probably, what I'm talking about, matter of factly going to pick up the Heisman Trophy this week, and he's going to play. We got another quarterback who picked up an award last weekend, and he's going to play. We have receivers that I know are going pro, and guess what? They're going to play. So we cannot wait to put on our best suit and our best uniform because we're the home team, and we're going to play, and we're going to come there to have a good time.
Man, there you have it. Your thoughts on Coach Prime's comments.
He's right. They are going to play. And I'm telling you, this is going to be – I would leverage your mortgage on CU in this game if you want to gamble. Like, I don't see a world where BYU walks in here and has any shot whatsoever. They can pray to the God in gray underwear all they want. They can go make up some shit. You can go to Utah and build a community. You can do whatever you want. It ain't going to fucking mean nothing. At San Antonio, we are going to absolutely eviscerate these people. and like I don't have anything against BYU other than they're the next team in the way. But I'm telling you, bro, you better cinch up them gray underwears because we're coming after that ass, dog. This is about to get. I'm telling you, you do not want to be the last fucking team in the way of this train. So. I've been saying this all year, bro. It's the last ride of the Sanders family, and it's just I knew it was like that all year. I knew this would happen. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great game. I love how passionate Coach Prime is about everything. And I think that this is a great opportunity to go showcase one more time and kind of set up the team for future success, which is the whole goddamn point.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And Matt said leverage your mortgage on this. Colorado's 2.5-point favorites are open at 2.5.
Oh, they're going to fucking beat them by 4 touchdowns.
Okay. 2.5. Definitely trying to bait you there, but I think Colorado's going to run them out the building. I just think offensively it's too much. But yeah, let's move forward here. One thing I wanted to shout out. Jake Wiley declares the NFL draft is a product of Big Matt and 6-year academy. He had a great season down at Houston under Willie Fritz. Matt, what are your thoughts on this and your comments?
Big Jake is a good player. He was a Buff for 3 years, and, the Colorado community should be happy about this guy going to the league. He's probably an end of the draft undrafted guy, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited to get to work. Elijah Anderson-Taylor, the great linebacker from FIU, starts this afternoon, and Trey Zoon starting up, and it's just the circle. The circle is complete, as they say. We got a bunch of guys in the transfer portal and shit. Like Josh Bates is going to the transfer portal from Oklahoma, and he's a Colorado kid. I've already got him in Lodeholt, who Lodeholt already coached him once at Oklahoma. So might as well come to Boulder and play some center. Give Cash Cleveland a run for his money. I'd take Bates over Cleveland. Bates is an animal. So. I like this kind of year because we are the hunters. We're not the ones being hunted. We're not the one being plucked. We're the ones plucking. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with this time of year because when you're the plucker, it's much nicer than the one being plucked. You know, turkeys get plucked and cooked. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and shout out to Jake Wiley declaring for the NFL draft, and Matt. Yeah, I mean, this is the time. It's starting to wind up. We're going to discuss transfer portal on the show. This is going to, I mean, that's going to be the main focus of tomorrow's show for sure. But yeah, shout out to Jake Wiley.
Hold on, is this person serious? Moving into the Big 12 next season, they're in the Big 12.
Yeah,
Dumb
I don't. But what? I wouldn't even pay.
I just don't understand. Do you not pay attention? Why are you doing the show? Why are you here? BYU's in the Big 12, dog. What?
Okay.
All right, next.
BYU is in the Big 12. All right. If those in the chat don't know that, now you know. I know Colorado didn't play
this
them.
This is a show about football. We're going to talk about certain teams that play football, okay? And there's these things called conferences where they play teams inside the it's incredible. And then they have championship games. Awesome. So just saying, just calm down. Everything's going to be good. Yes, they are going to be in the Big 12 next year because they're in the fucking Big 12 this year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's keep talking football. Let's talk college football in general. I just wanted to talk this bracket a little bit. I just had to say this, man. My initial take, and you said this on JB this morning, and you and JB discussed this. I think Oregon got fucked having to play either Ohio State or Tennessee. And then I also don't understand Clemson winning their conference at 12, Boise at 3. The only reason why I say this, and I understand Clemson has 3 losses, but are we really going to sit here and say that the Mountain West is comparable to the ACC or any other Power 4 conference? That's just my take on it. Matt, go ahead.
Well, I can't believe that they're going off rankings. Like just when I don't. This is how we fix this problem. Don't do the college football ranking show until the end of the year when you do the seeds. Yeah. Let everyone speculate and then do the seeding show on Championship Sunday or on Seeding Sunday, whatever. And then everybody can just be pissed off afterwards instead of like telling people all this different shit for 7, 8, 10 weeks and slotting everybody every week and the first team's in. Let the media do all that. And then the selection committee just do it on Selection Sunday. The selection show every single week, they don't do that in basketball. Mm-hmm. They don't do another selection show every week. Now, they have pundits that speculate. That's going to happen regardless. I'm talking about the actual people that doing the show every week. They don't do that in basketball.
Yeah, I agree.
So they should just wait and fucking just wait until the end of the year and then slot everybody. And then you don't have as much room to bitch because you didn't really know where everybody was going to be slotted. It was all just pundits' opinions. So I guess looking at it realistically in basketball, when you win a 1-16 game, you play the 8 and the 9, don't you?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so I guess did Oregon really get screwed?
I mean,
they got to play somebody. What difference does it make? Like what?
I mean, you think about it though. You're number 1 seed, be undefeated, and you come in as a Pac-12 team. You win the Big Ten. You're number 1. Your reward is facing either Ohio State, who was just in the top 5, or Tennessee, who has the best defense in college football.
Your reward is a bye week, though. Your reward is a bye. Like you earned your bye week. You have to play someone, bro. Like,
yeah,
I understand that. So what would you flip Penn State and Ohio State? Penn State is had a better year than Ohio State. They lost in the Big 12 title game.
Well, if I were to change this, I would have Clemson in the top 4 and have Boise at 9 or something.
How would you have Clemson as 3?
Because they won their conference. Now, I'm against having a Mountain West team in the top 4 because they won their conference, and they're going to argue that the Mountain West is equal to the ACC. I don't understand.
I don't think that's what they're arguing at all. I think they're just saying that they're the higher ranked conference champion, which I think is ridiculous because it's probably not going to happen again with the Mountain West champion because the Mountain West is dog shit. Let's be real. It's not a good conference. So not comparable to the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC. Give me a fucking break. So
my point.
I personally think that, look, Boise was ranked higher all year. They're getting the bye. Arizona State was ranked higher. They're getting the 4. Is that if SMU would have won, they would have bumped Arizona State instead of Boise, which that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know the answer to that question, bro. I don't know. Like I don't have a problem with Boise getting the bye. I'll tell you this: if Penn State doesn't get to the Final Four,
yeah, the 8 or
if
whatever.
Penn State doesn't get to the Final Four, then James Franklin should be fired. If you can't beat SMU and then beat Boise on a neutral site at Penn State and then get an opportunity to play Georgia or whoever the fuck, then you should be fired. Period.
Yeah, and Matt, let's really look at this. Like, is that what you think is going to happen if you were to predict this? Just looking at it right off the bat, this is
Penn State's going to beat SMU, and then Penn State's going to beat Boise, and then Penn State's going to play Georgia, who's going to beat Indiana or Notre Dame. So Indiana, Notre Dame, whoever that is going to lose to Georgia. So Penn State's going to play Georgia, and in the top bracket, Texas is going to beat Clemson, Texas is going to beat Arizona State, and then Texas is going to be in. And in the bottom bracket, Tennessee's going to beat Ohio State. Tennessee's going to lose to Oregon. Oregon's going to play Texas. Penn State's going to play Georgia. The final is going to be Georgia against Oregon, and Oregon's going to win the national title.
The only thing I disagree with you about is I think Clemson's going to take out Texas. I would never lay any money on Texas right now unless they're going to sit here and really consider a
Clemson is
quarterback
not
change.
beating Texas in Austin, dog. There's not a shot in hell.
Well, that's my prediction right now. I think you're going to tell me all the favorites are going to win. You think, because I think Tennessee could beat Ohio State just because of defense. I think if Nico can put together a decent game on offense, yeah, there's no doubt, because I know Tennessee's defense is going to come to play. Yeah, I don't know. That's my take, but yeah, I
think Tennessee beats Ohio State and Ryan Day gets fired. I think, and that's just what. Period. Yeah. Like I think it's like a nail in a coffin. You got a home playoff game. Well, here's Tennessee, and you're fired. You're fucking fired. Congratulations, you're fucking fired. You know, SMU and Penn State. I just don't see how SMU can run with Penn State. Penn State's not great, but they're better than SMU and they're better than Boise. So it's just that. I know you got 2 softballs lobbed at you, but what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Indiana, Notre Dame, those 2 teams are real close proximity to each other. That's going to be a hell of a football game. Notre Dame could be the Cinderella, bro. Notre Dame could go out and shock some people and maybe beat Georgia and get into the Final Four. I don't know. But Georgia, I think they got better when Stockton went in the game. I don't know if he's still alive, but I don't think that fucking Timmy should be playing quarterback for Georgia anymore, because Timmy got his head ripped off and his arm ripped off in the game.
Right.
So, it's tell me he doesn't look like Timmy.
Well, so the only issue, the backup, he went 9 for 11, then he threw that weird pick, and you're like, oh, but then he got absolutely rocked, and then that was that. They put him back. But Matt, let's cut this discussion. We'll discuss this more. We got, obviously, a few weeks here, 10 days before college football playoff starts with Notre Dame and Indiana. But our special guest is here, Super Bowl champion, Tulane legend, Tulane alum. We're going to discuss quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and so much more. Let's bring him in. Sean King, welcome to the show.
What up, Sean?
King, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I had to text my mom until I finally made it, man. I'm on 0 to 60.
Well, I appreciate you joining, man. We got a lot to talk about. I want to discuss Shedeur Sanders with you, man. Just get right into it and get into a discussion. How Shedeur Sanders' game translates to the NFL. Obviously, Shedeur just won the Johnny Unitas Award. But I wanted to discuss that with you. How do you think Shedeur's game translates to the NFL? Go ahead.
Well, I think the first thing you have to understand is the supply doesn't always meet the demand in the NFL. So when you're evaluating a quarterback class and where certain guys are going to get selected, you have to be honest with yourself about how good is that year's crop. And this is where I think Shedeur becomes a viable number one selection candidate. This isn't a good crop of quarterbacks. So anybody that wants a quarterback in this draft pretty much has to figure out how to get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward.
God.
So it bodes well for Shedeur. I think because of his last name, because of his exposure, he's more well-known. I think he's slightly more polished than Cam Ward, if not as talented. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shedeur goes number one. The only problem with that is if the number one team already has a quarterback. Let's say Jacksonville ends up number one, they got Trevor Lawrence. Then they're not taking Shedeur, but I unequivocally think he'll probably be the first quarterback off the board because I just don't think this is that good of a class. The guys that we thought were going to be good didn't pan out. Carson Beck regressed. You can look across the wall. None of the guys that we assumed, right, were going to be like Dylan Gabriel. He hadn't had like I got to get drafted in the first round year, even though Oregon's undefeated and he's playing solid. So it's good for Shedeur. Because for context, I think of Shedeur's in last year's class, he's maybe third, most likely fourth or fifth quarterback taken.
In last year's class, they're turning out to be pretty good this year. Even though Caleb Williams is struggling, he still looks good at times. Let me ask you this. You know that it's so much as a quarterback where you go as opposed to, who you are. The top of the draft right now is Raiders, Giants. I think the Raiders have the 1 pick, right?
Yep. Yes.
If you're Shedeur and you're Dion, which one? You want to go to Vegas and play in a dome and play in the heat and the bright lights of Las Vegas, or do you want to go play in maybe the worst stadium and in the NFL at MetLife in the wind in New Jersey for the Mayer family, who we saw yesterday planes circling the stadium, asking them to stop the dumpster fire. If I'm Shedeur, I'm trying to go to Vegas quick.
So here's what's interesting about that. Both situations are so similar. I mean, if Daboll isn't fired, both are probably in lame duck situations next year, right? AP and Daboll. The only thing I would say as a quarterback, at least in New York, you have Malik Neighbors and Tyron Tracy. Yeah. So you've got two young skill guys to assist. I mean, when you look at this Raiders roster offensively, it's Brock Bowers and it's not a whole lot, else in the cupboard. So I want AP to succeed. So I hope it's Vegas. But you started this off by saying fit. Is Vegas the best fit for a young quarterback? It just depends. It depends because if they're not going to fire AP, then can AP afford to go 4-13 next year while Shedeur kind of develops and grows and is allowed to make mistakes without pressure, or is AP like, I got to try and be 500 so I can be the coach in Shedeur's second year? Like, it gets tricky in some of these situations. Whereas, Matt, before you say that, whereas if Daboll gets fired in New York and Shedeur goes to New York with a brand new staff, now the first year is just to go out and figure out what you can and can't do in the NFL year. Because it's a new staff, no expectations. We got kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah, and I guess when you're looking at the division you walk into, too, if he walks into the division with the Raiders where he's got Herbert, Nix, and Mahomes, I mean, that's a great quarterback division right there, but he's definitely the fourth guy on that list as a rookie. You walk into the NFC East, and you've got Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Dak maybe, and whoever's in New York, that'd be Shedeur. I don't know, he's probably fourth on that list, too. That's a pretty good quarterback division as well. So if you are Jacksonville and say Jacksonville does get the first pick, are they really not going to draft Shedeur? Like, I'd be trying to trade Trevor Lawrence to draft Shedeur at this point. Why keep old soft-brain Trevor? He looked like he's done playing for the year. That's for damn sure.
So that makes a lot of sense. It'd be unprecedented. We hadn't seen that work. I think the team that's going to attempt to do it is Dallas. I can see Dallas offering Dak to a quarterback-needy team in the top 3, trying to get up and get a Shedeur. It'd be fascinating. I would presume that if Jacksonville had the 1, that they would take Travis Hunter because they kind of need help. They need another guy opposite Brian Thomas, in my opinion, and then they need help on defense, so it kind of makes sense. But is Doug Peterson going to be the head coach in Jacksonville? I mean,
So you're telling me if Jacksonville has the number 1 pick, Dallas trades Dak to Jacksonville?
No. I'm saying like if there's going to be a $60 million a year quarterback that gets traded.
Okay, I gotcha.
I can see Dallas trying to do it. Jacksonville's not going to trade Trevor. They're all in with Trevor. They're going to blame the head coach first. So Peterson will get fired before they gave up on Trevor Lawrence.
Huh.
Do you think Mike McCarthy is going to be in Dallas next season?
Yeah, I don't think he gets fired.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters either. That's a good point.
Dallas is a team. Point, Sean. They're not going anywhere. Their big decision now, after they paid CD and Dak, is what to do with Micah. Like now, do you make Micah the highest paid defensive player in football, knowing that he seems to be like 1 foot out the door half the time? He's halfway in the media, halfway still an active player. Like, who the hell knows? Like, I wouldn't want to be the Dallas coach.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So what do you think the best fit for Shedeur is if he could go anywhere? Would it be Dallas?
Give me the top 5 right now. Who are the top 5?
There you go.
So I don't see him getting outside of the top 5. I know it's Raiders, Giants.
Raiders, Giants, New England, Carolina, Jacksonville, and then you got Tennessee and the Jets going to 7.
Tennessee and the Jets are the teams that really need fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would be honest. If he could go to Tennessee, because they've got Calvin Ridley, they've got Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, the young tight end, and the receiver with the 3 names. He's starting to play good on defense. Yeah. It's not like anybody in Tennessee is going to get rid of their season tickets because he replaces Will Levis. Like, to me, that would be the spot where he can go in and kind of become the face of the franchise and have enough talent around him where you got a chance to be successful early.
And he'd be brilliant for Callahan, and Bill Callahan's there, so you know he's going to be protected. Bill Callahan's a badass O-line coach. So, I can see that. Just don't go to the Jets.
Yeah, I don't like the Jets situation.
Don't do it. Don't I'm a Jet alum, bro, and I love the Jets, but please, for the love of God, don't draft Shedeur or Travis. Just sit in New York and suck, and I'll just take it every year from this point. I don't care anymore.
The Jets gonna have a disgruntled team, man, because Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall want to get paid. They'll be interesting offseason there.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it happened the way it happened. Like, come on, dog. We can't win with Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. We can't win one fucking time. We can't win once. Not one time. Shit.
Man, let's move forward here. Sean, another Colorado unicorn, I call him.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, let me ask you. Realistic expectations for Travis Hunter in the NFL. What do you expect to see from him in the NFL? Is he going to play both ways, full like he's been in college? Is it going to be a hybrid of some sorts? What are your thoughts of Travis headed into the NFL?
I think it probably depends on Travis. I don't think any team's going to tell him no. Like, I think teams will have a plan for him, but if he says, like, I'm playing both ways or don't draft me, I'm not going to sign. I'm going to hold. Like, he kind of holds the ace in the hole. If I was managing Travis, I would tell him this. I think he has a chance to be an elite wide receiver that plays spot situational defense. Mm-hmm. And I think it allows him to stay healthier. Like, the thing about Travis is I don't think his body type will hold up playing both ways in the NFL. Like, you got to understand, when you got that kind of frame and you got to tackle and you got to get off blocks on screens, and it's hard for that frame. He struggles now in college. If there's one Achilles heel he's had, is he does miss some time, because of injury. So I would tell him, listen, I'd say I want to play receiver, and then if you need me a nickel or a 2-minute or something like that on defense, then I play defense.
Matt?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be the same. I think that he'll play. I could see it going the other way, maybe, where he starts on defense and then a spot on offense and has packages and gives you maybe 20, 30 plays on offense a game and plays all day on defense. Regardless, he's going to be a huge asset for wherever he goes, from a money-making standpoint and a football standpoint. So the kid's special. He's a unicorn. If Matlock can play, the fullback for the Chargers can play 40 plays at fullback and 40 plays at defensive line and stay healthy, then I'm sure a pencil neck can stay healthy out there too.
Matt, I was talking more, and I guess my opinion is based more on impact. I think if I'm drafting him in the top 5, he can impact the game more at receiver than he can at DB.
Oh, dude, he's going to run by people at receiver. They're going to love him in the NFL. So, but I mean, regardless, I wouldn't put it past him to let him return punts and shit in the league too. Like the more you can get Travis on the field with the ball in his hands in the NFL, the better it's going to be. So we'll see. But I think a lot of it is a fit for Shedeur where he goes. I don't think it really matters where Travis goes, bro. Travis is going to go and ball out on defense wherever he goes. He's going to be good wherever he goes. There's every quarterback, even the shitty ones, are still pretty. Like I'm looking at like Gardner Minshew's all-time stats, and they're pretty good.
They are.
I mean, he's pretty shitty. So a lot of these like quarterbacks that aren't very good are actually like statistically pretty fucking good. They just don't win. So it's wherever Travis is, he's going to elevate everyone to be better, and that's for damn sure. So I hope he goes. Obviously, I'd love to see him in Denver, but that's not happening. Nobody in the playoffs is going to be able to sniff either of these two.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Sean, if you had to pick a team, and I know we just said it doesn't really matter, but if you had to pick a team that you think would be best for Travis, you just mentioned Jacksonville. What team would that be and why?
See, I think Travis is box office, and he plays positions that everything else around you don't have to be perfect for you to still be successful. So I would love to see Travis in New York. You can put him opposite Sauce Gardner on defense. On offense, you already got Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. See, I think that kind of situation for Travis is perfect. I mean, whereas the quarterback, like, you got to have a good O-line. You got to have a good coordinator. The head coach got to have some common sense. Like a healthy running game would help. Guys that can catch, like contested catches. Like, it's a lot of stuff goes into, being successful at quarterback. Travis can play receiver and they lose 35-7, and he makes the amazing catch on the one touchdown and still get some shine. Like, I want him on the big stage. I would love him to go to the Jets.
Oh, God. Why?
Matt, your thoughts?
No, God, please. No, the Jets don't need anything nice anymore. The Jets just need to strip everything down and just like have open tryouts in New Jersey in the parking lot and get every like Peter, Paul, and Vinny out there and start running fucking post routes and see if any of them can contribute. We'll do the same thing Mark Wahlberg did in that Disney movie. At this point, the Jets don't deserve nice things. So please just get rid of all your good players, stack your draft picks, and start over because your fucking franchise is a joke. Woody Johnson, dog, I knew this when I was playing there, okay? And Woody, it's the same thing Jerry Jones does, but I don't know. I feel like Jerry can get away with it. Woody would fly his helicopter onto the practice field and land on the practice field when we were stretching and shit. Dude, fuck you, okay? I know you're the owner of the team and you're Woody Johnson and shit, but how smug of a move is that?
Is he a co-defendant in the Diddy case? In there with that?
He needs to be. He's the one. Johnson & Johnson. Goddamn. Diddy's got 800 dildos and 15 stacks of baby oil. Johnson & Johnson sponsoring the Diddy parties. Woody Johnson needs to be held accountable. Goddamn it! It can't just be Sean Carter now and P Diddy. All right, Woody Johnson. You think that they didn't call Woody hey, let me get a discount on that baby oil? And Woody was like, sure, Diddy, it's on the way.
So Matt does not like Travis Hunter to the Jets.
No, I don't want the Jets to have anything nice. Just let us wallow and suck, okay?
Matt or Sean, I will say, Shedeur to Tennessee. I mean, you mentioned healthy run game, a defense that can play pretty good, a couple weapons on the outside. I could see that. I don't know if Tennessee has any plans to move up, but that'd be a good call.
Just keep losing and you'll move up. If I'm one of these teams at the bottom of the draft, lose. I don't want when I was with the Jets my rookie year, we were 3-13, right? Or we were 3-12. On the last game of the season playing Buffalo, and we won, and we didn't get Reggie Bush because we won.
Didn't Jacksonville win this past week?
Jacksonville beat Tennessee, actually. Yeah.
Dummies.
So if I'm Tennessee, I'm in there like, everyone, play hard, but please don't win any. We're not trying to win shit the rest of the year. Straight in the dumpster.
I feel you.
Man, yeah, that's hilarious. Well, Sean, let's move forward here and discuss some more things before we can get you out of here. I can't thank you enough for joining.
The Jets and the Jaguars play next. Son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be.
Damn it!
Box office game right there.
Son of a bitch. God damn it.
Well, man, Sean, let me just get your reaction on the playoff. Matt and I were discussing it before you came on. What are your thoughts on it? Boise State cracks the top 4. Not really that surprising, but what are your initial thoughts on the rankings?
I don't have a problem with it because I felt like they stayed the course. Like they told us what the rules were going to be, what the regulations and guidelines were before the year started. And they kind of stayed the course. I'm cool with that. I'm glad they didn't. Oh, that's funny.
You know what Travis needs to do? Get a good lawyer that says stone cold prenup. That's what you need, because old girl did not look real happy with you the other day when you walked off the field and you're like, 3 touchdowns on the Heisman. And she was like, no kisses. I'd be like, bitch, you're gone.
Don't give her too much access, Travis. Keep her in the family.
Telling you, dog. You better not give her your bank account information, homie.
I thought they stuck to their guns, which that's all I wanted. They said this is what we're gonna do. If you won your conference, you were automatically in. The 4 highest rated conference champions got a bye, and then they were gonna rank everybody accordingly. I'm glad SMU was rewarded for what they did over the course of the whole season.
Everything your boss said.
They on Travis head in the conference.
Yeah, the chat going crazy on Travis. Well, let me ask you. Just Matt and I discussed this, and I asked him this. Clemson being ranked at 12 despite being the ACC champion. Do you view? I mean, let's be honest here. I don't view the Mountain West as an equal conference compared to the other 4 Power 4 conferences, and yet you see Boise cracking the top 4. I understand that it's based on highest rated conference champions, but I don't know how I feel about that. What are your thoughts?
So Bailey, let me tell you this. Here's where clarity needs to come to this bracket. This isn't a program achievement award. This is strictly talking about the 2024 version of each one of these teams. Boise's a damn good football team. I don't know how much Boise State people that watch Madison throws the ball to his guys. He throws touchdowns. Ashton Genty, a lot of people think he's a front runner for the Heisman. He's not just a guy gaining stats. Like, he's super talented.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player.
He's a baller.
See him after running for 200 in the Mountain West championship game do a backflip in full uniform and helmet? Like, he's a elite level like athlete that just happens to be at Boise State. They've always been solid defensively. So I think the right teams got in, man. To be honest, Arizona State, as hot as they are, they get the receiver back that was at Colorado. That
Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson's good, bro.
That missed the title game. Hell, why can't them with that run game? What was it, Scatterbro?
Scatterbro.
Scatterboo.
Right.
Scatterboo.
Why can't they get hot and win it all? I love this, man. It puts the pressure on these big name, big conference schools to be who we really think they are. I said this earlier this morning on the JB show.
I think this.
You can't tell me that the SEC has a strength of schedule that's so much greater than everybody else when historically the bowl matchups don't say that. Like, the top of the SEC is better than everybody. Georgia, Alabama, nobody's had the run that those 2 programs have had. But when South Carolina and Tennessee and Mississippi and all these others, supposedly what makes the SEC schedule so tough, when they play in the bowl games, they're losing to Wisconsin and Virginia Tech and Maryland and these schools. It's about a 50-50, as far as their bowl games. So I think the SEC got to realize, man, if y'all so damn good, then y'all shouldn't lose any bowl game, right? It should show itself when you're the 4th seed in the SEC and you play the 4th seed from the Big Ten and you get mollywopped. Don't tell me about motivation, and all these excuses, like, go and win, and then I'll believe you. But that's not what the data says. So I think the right teams got in. We'll see. Be interesting. Is Carson Beck going to play for Georgia, or is he done for the year? Is Quinn Ewers ever going to play good in a really big time game.
No, they need to play Arch Manning immediately.
I would agree.
Yours is busted.
I would agree. I think if Steve Sarkisian is honest with himself, he knows he needs to start Arch against Clemson.
Yeah,
It
and if
makes
I'm
him so
Arch, I'm
much
like,
better.
yo, what does it take for me to play, dog? You want me to go fucking transfer to A&M? Like,
Right.
come on, fucking
Yeah.
play me.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think
By the way,
Look, I'm gonna
A&M,
piggyback off of this a little bit.
Go
The
ahead.
more I listen to Sean talk about it, it takes me back to my own experiences in college and being on a team in 2001 that won our conference, but was left out of the Big 12 of the national championship game against Miami because of percentage points on a computer. Like a team that we beat in Nebraska by 30 points when they were number 1, and then beating Texas number 3 the next week. You know, I don't know if you could have a better resume as Big 12 champs than that, and we get left out over Nebraska because of a technicality in the ranking system. That's just as bad as, oh, well, they won the conference, but I don't think that they're good enough.
Mhm.
Like the conference game, the conference championships in your conference has to mean something. It has to be the number one thing. Number one has to be the regular season. Go through it undefeated. You earn your right, or whatever. You earn your right to play in the title game. You win the title game. If they start diluting either playing in the game like they would have done with SMU if JB had his way, or winning it. If you win it and then all of a sudden it doesn't matter, well, why the fuck do we even have the conference title games? Like, we might as well just get rid of them.
Right.
So I think that it's very important. And look, I can't sit here and act like Boise's just going to go. I think Penn State will beat Boise, but I don't think Boise's going to roll over. I don't think SMU is going to roll over. SMU is a good football team. I guess I'm looking at that and going, you know, maybe the brand right now is in my head a little bit bigger than it should be, because I watched Boise play on Saturday or on Friday night, and the safety for Boise, Shea Oladipo, I don't know if you got any of those clips that I posted, Bailey, but
awesome.
He's one of our guys, and to watch how hard he played and how hard the defense played, and I think that's going to travel. I think that Boise has the ability to do that. And their only loss, let's remember, Boise's only loss is the end of the game in Eugene against the number 1 team in the country in Oregon. They're one of the teams that actually played them better than everyone. Like, Ohio State and Boise State are the 2 teams that played Oregon to the bell. Mm-hmm. Everybody else was either in catch-up mode like Penn State or getting their ass beat. Well, I guess Wisconsin on the road played them pretty tight, but yeah.
Camp Randall night game, it happens. And listen, to all of you Bama fans out there, hey, don't take your ass to Norman and get woodshedded late in the season.
Exactly.
Good point.
It's the same thing I say to Colorado people. Like, don't lose to Kansas and Kansas State if you want to get in the playoff.
To Lane Kiffin, like, your losses aren't even to the big dogs in the SEC. They're like to Kentucky, Florida, and they got one other loss to like a middle of the road SEC team. Like, they got 3 losses to teams they should beat. That's on you, Lane. Get your guys ready to play.
And if I'm going to sit here and advocate for an SEC team, which I would never fucking do, I would advocate for South Carolina over Alabama and Ole Miss. South Carolina finished the season on a tear, and with the exception of the LSU game, they were pretty damn good. So I think South Carolina should be over Alabama or Ole Miss if we're going to talk about just SEC bias.
Yeah, if South Carolina hadn't lost to LSU, I would say that, because, man, South Carolina.
And they were up in that game big, too.
Yeah, true. And that kid Sellers, man.
They lost to LSU. They went on a bye. They came back, lost to Ole Miss, only scored 3 points in that game. Then I think they lost to Georgia.
NIU is not a D2 team, guys. NIU is a MAC team that has beaten a lot of teams in the past. Grow up.
Come on.
But look.
I don't know.
Sean, you're a proud Tulane alum.
Yeah, I don't know what Notre Dame is.
We'll see what Notre Dame is, because their schedule hasn't been great, but they look pretty good. Like, they go out and hammer a lot of people. The SC game was back and forth, but I'm eager to see if Notre Dame is the one team in the bracket that I'm like, they could fuck around and do some sneaky shit and end up in the Final Four, you know, like beat Indiana, go beat Georgia without a quarterback, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there, you know, looking at the other side of the bracket like, shit, we could be in the national title game for all we know. So let me ask you this. You're a proud Tulane alum. They were in the mix for a while, just like the Buffs were. Like, if they went out, they could make something happen. Put yourself in Boise's shoes here. You know, you're a mid-major, but now the mid-major thing's kind of gone, right? Because now Boise's a 3 seed. So if you're in the Mountain West, if I'm looking at this like back in the day, I'm like, oh, well, it's a Mountain West team. They're probably not going to be able to play for a natty. Now you're in the Mountain West and you run the table. You go 11-1, 12-1. You're getting in the tournament. You get a bye. You're getting treated like all the other conferences. Yeah. So apparently the Mountain West is equal with everyone else, which would make the AAC equal, which would make Conference USA equal. You know, Tulane played Army for the title, right?
Yep.
You know, like congratulations to Army, their first conference title. And Army realize this too, folks. West Point and the Naval Academy and Air Force, they do this without transfer portal, without NIL, without any of that. So you got to tip your cap to Army and everything they accomplished. That's pretty fucking cool. Mm-hmm. But let's just flip Tulane and put them in the 3 seed, and they had a 12-1 year and won their conference. Would you be advocating to get out of the conference you're in to jump up? Because they're leaving to the new Pac-12, which is just going to be the fucking Mountain West anyway. Do you want to see Tulane maybe jump to a different conference to even the playing field? Or now as a mid-major, do you want to stay where you're at and just destroy the lower level teams and get into the playoff anyway, since everything's equal?
So here's where you kind of got to be a person that is able to project. And here's why Barry Odom would leave UNLV to go to Purdue. UNLV is a better football team in 2024 than Purdue, but Purdue already in the Big Ten. And so there are whispers that the Big Four conferences are trying to do away with the NCAA and kind of form their own deal. And that's just the only part of not being in one of those conferences if that happens. Now you're left out in the cold. Because including the Mountain West AAC and their champion, based on how they're ranked, is good for this current system. But how long is this 12-team playoff going to be in effect? Like,
aren't they going to 14 teams next year?
2026, yeah.
2026 is 14, right?
But again,
so we get one fucking 2 years of 12, and then we get 14.
Right. Yeah. But watch what's going to happen this offseason, right? What's happening in all the big conferences, Matt? What's happening? Oh, so Boise got in over South Carolina, Ole Miss.
They don't like it. They hate it.
Right? They're complaining.
Tons of bitching.
What's happening in the Big 12? BYU, Iowa State, like Colorado. They're like, damn, Boise got in. We whooped Boise. Like, what's happening in the ACC? Miami's in there like, we're 10-2. How in the hell we not in the – like, so I think the big conferences are going to make such a fuss that they're going to be forced to change this system in a few years. So to your point, why you have a chance and the non-Power 4 conference champion has a chance to make the college football, you got to take advantage of it. But when it's a program like Tulane, and I think Tulane and Colorado are very similar, the guys got to learn how to handle success. You know, a lot of people think that changing losing is hard. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is when you start to win and you got to handle winning. And, you know, you guys fell into a roadblock in Kansas. We fell into a roadblock in Memphis. Remember, the whole country was talking about if we won out, how we could.
If you guys went out, you'll overtake Boise.
Yeah.
Right. And if you look at my Twitter, I sent out a tweet: block out the noise, fellas. Block out the noise. Memphis a good team. Kansas a good team. And, you know, that's part of the growing of a program. That's what those are the bumps that the program goes through when they're going from being a non-contender to trying to be one of the big dogs, is learning how to handle success.
Are you going to be able to keep your coach is a pretty good coach down there, and I know you guys love him. Are you going to be able to keep him, or is he going to end up at North Carolina?
He's staying this year, he said.
Good.
The quarterback entered the transfer portal, but I'm talking to him, so we'll see how much.
Yeah, I wanted to get your take on that, your comments on that.
Portal, bro, I deal with so many kids in the transfer portal, and my question to every one of them when they send me, I'm going in the portal, is, do you have a plan, or are you just panicking? Or is this? It's like the panic portal. It's not the transfer portal. It's the, oh my God, I'm not going to play, and they panic and go in the transfer portal, and then they don't have a job anymore. Let's
just talk about quarterback. Here's the and again, I've got an easy fix for the NCAA, but you know they don't listen to me. And here's my fix before I talk about the quarterbacks. High school kids should not be eligible for NIL. Meaning, NIL means name, image, likeness. If you're coming out of high school, you have not done anything at whatever university you're going to. You still got to get there, earn your spot, prove you deserve to be on the field. And then listen, once you get to the program and you do something after year one, then okay, you're eligible for NIL. The other thing is, if you transfer, you're not eligible for NIL at the new school you're going to. That way you stop these programs with bigger bags from stealing kids from teams that just can't afford to match the number. Like if you think that's a better opportunity for you, okay, do it minus the money.
Oh, that's interesting. I like Matt. Your thoughts on that?
I don't see how it works, but I agree. Look, I'm not for limiting earning potential because I know what it was like when we didn't get anything.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
Like,
yeah, we played.
I know what it felt like when I would see coaches get paid and change jobs whenever they wanted, and I didn't really understand the significance of it when I was playing because you're in it. But definitely now looking back at it, like all the revenue created just on the 5 years I was at CU playing in the Big 12 title game 3 times and the BCS games and all the bullshit, the trickle-down effect would have been nice to get some of that revenue. That, you know, being in a position where you can't earn anything from 18 to 23 years old is not cool. That said, there's got to be, in some shape or form, there's got to be some kind of regulation with all this shit because, number one, I think it sets a negative precedent moving forward. And Mike Elko was talking about this the other day. How can you pay an incoming freshman $1 million, but you're playing your starting tackle who's played 35 straight games for you and is an all-conference player, $400,000 to stay? But you have to pay this kid that's never done shit $1 million to get there. Well, if I'm on the team, I'm going to be like, fuck that. Why is this kid? It would be like when I was playing for the Jets and they drafted Vernon Goldston. And Vernon Goldston walked in as like the 3rd pick, looks like Tarzan, plays and acts like Jane, can't play a fucking lick, but he got $70 million. And it's just, if you want to talk about breeding contempt, like, bro, we were trying to fucking murder that kid at every turn that we could because I'm jealous he got $70 million.
And Matt, just eliminate the high school kid. I'm not saying once you finish your freshman season in college, you're now eligible for NIL from that institution. And all I'm saying,
prove it.
Right, prove it.
Yeah.
Let us make some money off your name, image, and likeness first. Because when you go to University High in Boulder, Colorado, you're not making money for the Buffaloes. You still in high school.
And kids are getting NIL deals in high school right now. I'm talking, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to use names, but I work with a lot of high profile players, and I'm not going to use the name of the university. Okay, everybody can speculate. But we had a coach tell a player that they would pay them and get them a house and a car and all the little trinkets and bells that the player gets. But then they would also pay family members tuition and like pay off debt and anything that the family needs to make this work, they're going to do for the family to make it work. And I'm sitting there like, fuck, adopt me real quick. Like, I want to get in on the family shit. Like it's becoming like a big back scratching contest. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to do this, bro. I think a hungry dog will do more to get the meat than a fat, satisfied one.
And here's the conversation I have, because I actually still mentor like some of these knuckleheads. And I tell them, I say, listen, man, here's where you got to be careful with transferring. Are you going somewhere where they're going to develop you? And are you going somewhere they're going to have patience if it doesn't happen right away? I said, because the team that recruited you out of high school, they got a vested interest in your success. They put a lot of time, money, energy, effort into you. And a lot of times that's going to be the best place for you long term. Now, I know someone might be offering $200,000 more, but are you going to get developed when you go there? Who's your position coach? What's the system they're in? Historically, what have they done in that position as far as getting guys into the National Football League? Like, these are the reasons that you should have on your checklist is if I'm going to leave somewhere to go somewhere else. Not just, well, Colorado's only offering me $200,000. Colorado State's going to give me $250,000. So I'm going to leave because I get 50 more grand. Like, I mean,
well, apparently Colorado State guys got $600,000 each and both said no. How's that? I mean, that'd be burning a hole in my pocket. Shit. Somebody offers me $600,000 and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Fort Collins. Yeah. Well, man, Sean King, I can't thank you enough for joining. Last question for me before you get out of here, and we didn't get to touch on this. Tulane quarterback Darian Mensah enters the portal. What are your thoughts on this? I was a little surprised to see this. Obviously, true freshman baller. What are your thoughts?
He's a redshirt freshman.
Or he's a redshirt, excuse me.
Again, this is a perfect example. This is like kind of what's happening now, right? So Lil Wayne's agents contacted him, and they've allegedly done and canvassed the country, and they feel like they have on good authority some big time offers for him to go to, Power 4 programs. So he's going to explore those opportunities. We'll see. I would love for him to stay at Tulane. My message to him would be Tulane's the one that believed in you. Remember, they went and got Ty Thompson, the transfer from Oregon, and they had Kai Horton already on campus who had played last year when Michael Pratt, got injured. So those are two quarterbacks. Ty Thompson was I think he's a 5-star out of Arizona coming out of high school. And you know what? You beat those guys out in training camp, and they believed in you enough to give you the nod and make you the starter. Like a lot of programs wouldn't have done that. They go get a big-time transfer quarterback from Oregon. He's going to start the season. And if you don't play well, then they might go in a different direction. So, I think sometimes you got to, put your trust in the people that believed in you. But I don't have a problem with the kid, looking at the market, seeing what his value is. Hopefully he'll give Tulane an opportunity to at least be competitive with whatever's out there.
And that's the question I have. Isn't there's got to be a way for kids to not go in the transfer portal but still get
fair market value. What's the
still get fair market value, but also instead of the tampering shit, because that's happening rapidly. Like I had a bunch of kids in the gym last week that are in the transfer portal now, and I'm like, oh, are you going to post that you're in the portal? And they're like, we can't for another 3 days. We're talking to all these coaches. I don't want to get in trouble for tampering. So, like that's happening rampant. Like the NCAA knows it. They can't do anything about it because they have no balls. The NCAA is a ballless organization. They've got no huevos, no onions. They've got no cojones, as they say, like in Major League 2 where he's running around holding his nuts. None of that. So I believe that there's got to be a way for the player to sit back while he's still at the school and people be able to go through his third party, which every kid needs an agent at this point. Even if it's a street agent, like JB says, at least they got somebody, and be offered opportunity without having to go in the transfer portal. Like, why does he have to go in the transfer portal just to get offered opportunity? How about we get offered opportunity and go, can you match this? No? Okay, I'm going in the transfer portal. I feel like it's ass backwards. Like the kid has to take all of the the risk on his end by saying, oh, I'm going to listen to all these people speculate about what I'm worth rather than actually get what I'm worth, because the leverage is that he's on someone else's roster. This kid's leverage is that he plays at Tulane. Well, if he goes in the transfer portal and he doesn't play at Tulane anymore, his leverage is gone, regardless of what the fucking people said to him. They're trying to get him in the portal. They're not trying to get him into the school. They're trying to get him in the portal so they can try and finagle a way to get him on campus for a lesser number. I mean, that again, that shit's true. Like, if you don't have any leverage in football, you're getting fucking pennies on the dollar.
And one thing I want to put out there in the stratosphere, because I just looked in the chat, and I know, people see these numbers. First of all, don't believe everything you read. First of all. And secondly, don't feel bad for these guys. These guys got a full college education paid for. They don't pay for room. They don't pay for board. They don't pay for food. They still get Pell Grant. They still get cost of attendance. Like, they got money. Like, this NIL stuff and these collectives, that's just icing on top of the cake. Like, I remember our guys at USF that, and this was like in 2017-18, that qualified for full Pell Grant and cost of attendance. They were already up to like $36,000 a year, like $18,000 a semester on top of being on full scholarship. Like, what the hell? I mean, and listen, if you're going to get, like, I love what Texas did. Put everybody, like, what is it? All their offensive linemen get, what is it, $50,000 a year, Matt, at Texas?
Minimum, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was like that, where, like, if you're a starter, or if you're on the 85, you get some kind of stipend from the collective. If you're a starter, that stipend goes way up. and like just reward everybody, man. I don't like the one person getting $4 million and the other guy getting 75. Like, come on, y'all. They still on full scholarship. It's not like they paying to be there.
Well, hold on. But even talking to a quarterback here, you want everything equal. Come on, that's horseshit. And in the NFL, then I want your quarterback money. Give me some of it.
Well, Matt, here's what I'm saying it because after coaching at the University of South Florida for 4 years, I understand how important it is for some of these men to be held accountable, to be in an environment that has discipline, structure, to be around guys that actually care for them and love them and want to see them succeed. Man, after being in that profession, I'm telling you, newsflash, it ain't all the coaches ain't like that.
Facts.
It's a whole bunch of coaches out there don't really give a damn about you. I'm just telling you. So you get someone with some real ones, you better stay there because they got your best interest at heart.
No doubt.
These are facts. These are facts. Are you going to come out to a game? Are you close with Warren or any of the guys you played with still at Tampa?
You can't me out, man. I was so busy when the weather was right, and I'm a Florida boy, so I don't do the cold. So what I'm probably trying to is get
beginning of next year, bro. We play Georgia Tech at home to open the season. That'd be a good one.
I'm gonna come down in the spring.
Ooh, I like that shit too.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for having me. I got daddy pickup duty. I got to pick the oldest up from high school. So, man, hey, shout out to Colorado. You guys headed in the right direction. Keep up the great work. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for having me.
Sean King.
Sean King, champion. Sean King, Tulane alum. Man, that was awesome, man. Sean's great.
As always.
Yeah, and I was really excited to have him on, man. Get his perspective on Shedeur, Travis, the whole nine, man. That was awesome. Shout out to Sean King for joining the show, man. Matt, before we get out of here, let's talk a little Monday Night Football tonight.
Why?
Yes, that's what I was going to just. We got a great game. Bengals take on the Cowboys. They got to
start doing something about the Monday night. Next week, Monday night's game is worse than this week's.
Can you believe that? And so maybe we'll get a good game tonight. Who knows? But Cowboys.
At least we get to watch Joe Burrow play tonight. That's good.
Yeah. I think he's about to have a good performance. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals head to Jerry World to take on the Cowboys, led by Cooper Rush. The Bengals are 4.5-point favorites on the road headed to Dallas. Matt, what are your thoughts on this game? Go ahead.
I think the Bengals will win. The Cowboys are dog shit.
Cowboys.
What's with the Simpsons thing? Why are they incorporating the Simpsons into this?
I saw that. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what it means either.
What's going on with the Simpsons? And
is it like going to be an animated game?
Is it going to be like the Nickelodeon thing? I'm going to guess it's something like that.
Is it just what? Are we trying to do kids still watch The Simpsons like we used to back in the – I mean, you're 22, so I don't know if I'm asking you the right question, but do you give a shit about The Simpsons?
I mean, I've watched it, but I don't know how kids, young kids would do it. I think it's like
no one gives a shit.
It's like trying to show –
gas because they're old.
But I don't know. What's their target audience with that? Who are you trying to draw?
Target audience? I don't know. 40-year-old fucking people that are living in the past.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. You would. I would never.
I like animated shit, just like the next guy. I just can't watch it all fucking day, every day.
I don't know how I feel about this, but I mean. I'd watch it if it wasn't NFL. I don't know what they're trying to do with this. This reminds me of the SpongeBob thing with the kids, and they're doing that. But interesting. But in terms of the game tonight, I think that
we know. Okay.
Bree will be watching. But in terms of the game tonight, I mean, I think you gotta give the Cowboys some credit. They're coming off 2 in a row. Cooper Rush. They seem to look better with Cooper Rush.
Anything.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Do you think they look better with Cooper Rush under the helm versus Dak?
Do I think they look better with Cooper than Dak? No. I don't think they – look, the Washington game was just crazy. Yeah. And then who'd they beat?
Who they beat last week? I'm sorry. I'm just blanking.
Like Jacksonville or Carolina or some shit. I don't know. Look.
Who did the Cowboys beat last week? I can't remember that.
The Cowboys have talent. The Cowboys can never play together. That's their problem. And Dak is super overrated, and he's just not very good. He's out. So, look, man, I think that they can't flex Monday night games for some reason. They can flex Thursday night games, but they can't flex Monday night games. I wish that they would start flexing Monday night games so we could actually get a good game. And also,
I don't think
I don't want to watch the Chiefs anymore. Last night's got another opportunity for the refs to put the Chiefs in position to win a game, and they did, and then they won by 2 again. So look, I can't wait to get to the fucking playoffs so somebody can go beat the goddamn shit out of Kansas City.
So you don't see a three-peat.
They're not three-peating, bro. Their defense is elite, but their offense is poo-poo.
Yeah, they do seem to hang in games they shouldn't.
They're two tackles. Like if you can really go out and pressure Mahomes, those 2 tackles are bad.
Yeah.
Like Jawan Taylor's stance number 1. What the fuck are you doing, dog? Like your stance looks like you got to take a shit or like you're trying to hold back, pissing your pants. And then number 2, Humphrey on the other side, that was his first game in a year and a half or some shit. And he tried hard, but I mean, San Diego, LA's pass rush was all over them in the second half. So, look, I think that until they solve the tackle problem, they're going to be beatable. And, last year they kind of had the same issue, but they overcame it for some reason. I just think that it's about to catch up with them. That's all.
Yeah, no doubt. And I really do think they'll go like 15 or 16-1. I don't know. Reminds me of the 2000.
No, I think that they'll lose. I think they'll lose the last game of the season in Denver. So I think they'll finish. I think they'll finish 14-2. 15-2. So they'll finish 15-2 and then get it by. But then I just. Whether it's the divisional round or the championship game, I don't see them beating Buffalo. I don't see them beating, like, Pittsburgh can line up God knows how many guys to come after you, and then your fucking boyfriend, Russell Wilson, everybody's best friend, we'll see if he can go do something. I know you're super happy that Russ is balling.
Everybody else, happy. I just figured this would happen.
And everyone was like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I know how you feel, Matt. I think
fuck that
really
guy. Fuck him, man. Fuck him in his ear. I don't know. I'm not sold on Kansas City at all. I'm not really sold on Detroit either. Like, I think Detroit is awesome and it's a great story, and I want them to win, but their defense is leaky and like they really struggle rushing the passer. And Philadelphia, I feel like they're the class of the NFC because they can just line up and hammer the rock. But then again, if the Rams play like they did yesterday, everyone needs to watch out for their ass. Because if they come out and play like that and Stafford is upright and he's lacing the ball like he was, holy God in heaven, bro. They looked fucking so good yesterday.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams like the Seahawks.
Like there's some good teams in the NFC. I'm eager to see what happens.
Yeah, we're not even talking about the Seahawks. The Seahawks.
And we didn't talk about Minnesota either. The Vikings are really good. Sam Darnold threw fucking 5 touchdowns again. So
yeah, they really shut down.
You know what I love? I love that Seattle has a jet quarterback and Minnesota has a jet quarterback, and they're both balling. But when they were with the Jets, we couldn't win a fucking game. But they can go somewhere else and they turn into fucking multi-million-dollar fucking all-pros. So
yeah, shout out to Geno Smith leading the Seahawks, leading the NFC West. They took out the Cardinals.
And shampoo my crotch that wants to give me shit about the Jets. Fuck you.
And yeah, Matt, as we discussed with Sean King earlier, does not like the idea of Travis Hunter going to New York.
No, I don't want the Jet. Like if Travis Hunter went to the Jets, all they're going to do is fuck it up. If Shedeur Sanders goes to the Jets, they're just going to fuck it up. Like I don't even want the Jets to draft anyone. Like I just cut everybody. And I said this already. Invite every Paul, Peter, Vinny, and fucking Frankie in New York out to the goddamn MetLife parking lot. We'll have open tryouts like Mark Wahlberg in that stupid fucking Disney movie, and we'll just see how many goddamn people pray for fucking Tommy Cutlets and go fucking 0-17 and just make an all mafia team up there in Jersey and just get rid of everybody. Fuck it.
You're hilarious, man. Oh my god!
Go and sponsor some more P Diddy parties in the fucking locker room.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh,
He needs to be held accountable, by the way. All that baby oil didn't just get there because he went to Walgreens. Fucking P. Diddy and Sean Combs had to know somebody. They've been,
no.
boop, 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 boop. Hey,
now you're on
can
P.
you
Diddy?
buy
Oh,
such a
jeez.
gallon of fucking baby oil? Thanks. And Woody was like, yeah, no problem there, P. Diddy. I'll
Do you
get
see
you
that the Hawk
900
Tour
gallons.
girl? You see about the Hawk Tour girl?
The Hawk Tour girl. I'm not advocating violence or anything, but if someone fucking took her out, I would not be angry. Fuck her.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, she rug pulled. For those who don't know, the Hawk Tour girl rug pulled a bunch of people and lost a bunch of people a bunch of money on crypto.
She's like
Those
dancing
people,
on the
I
internet
also
and
question the people investing money into that in the first
These are
place.
also facts. Do you deserve to lose the money if you put it in her
Kind
care?
of, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I hate her face. I hate the tone of her voice. Everything about this chick I fucking hate. Everything. I hate her.
This is just so
Hate her.
ironic, yes.
She sucks. And she didn't even suck. That's the worst part. This bitch got famous and we never saw her mouth a cock one time. She got famous for hypothetically spitting on a cock. That's not cool. All these fucking bitches on OnlyFans that are really slaving away every day to make a fucking quote unquote honest living.
I like
stop that Hawk 2's got a coin, right?
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw that headline. I knew you were gonna have fun with this. One that I would say, and Jeff Nadu posted this on Twitter. Your good friend Jeff Nadu. He was like, "Why doesn't she just claim she got extorted like the FanDuel girl Taylor Mathis?" Because that's what's
too dumb to figure it out.
I don't know,
Look,
Jeff.
man,
If you're listening, that was a great suggestion because apparently everyone just forgot that Taylor Mathis did the same damn thing. So
look, when she was on, they played that clip of her like, "Oh well, I just got to go to bed. Bye." Like, dude, what a piece of shit human this is. Like, just the lowest of the low, bro.
yeah,
Ugh.
the rug pull, unbelievable. Matt, great. Travis Hunter, the Jets.
Please, God, no.
Girl.
We don't want Travis on the Jets, bro. You might as well just fucking tank the franchise and like move to Toronto or something if you're going to do this, because all you'll do is fuck it up. Do I think that Sauce Gardner and Travis on either side would be awesome? Yeah, it would be great. But who plays quarterback for us? Ayahuasca Rogers? Nope. That guy's fucking as washed as my laundry.
Are you going to watch his new Netflix documentary?
I am going to watch it because I want to figure out what the fuck this guy is talking about.
Yeah, I got to see this. I'm really curious as to what the hell he's been up to.
Look, there's one thing, okay? Like, you can be a weird, eccentric introvert, cool. I think Aaron Rodgers plays the weird introvert. I don't really think he is weird introverted. I think he's like, well, I can do this and people will think I'm like colorful.
It stokes a fire.
And I just think he's full of shit. Like, and a lot of this is because they suck. Let's just be real. If they were 10-3 and they were going to the playoffs and I could talk some shit about this, I would probably be wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey right now. But at this point, I just want to drink some ayahuasca so I can fucking forget about the fact that I'm a Jets fan. Right. Or maybe I can trip out and then maybe like trip balls to the point where they actually are winning in my head. Like that's what mushrooms does. It makes you think shit that's there isn't real. So like the snozberries taste like snozberries in New York. If that's the case, then fuck. I'll drink some of that shit and watch the Jet game and be like, we're winning, and we're down 20-7-0.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get on that. You gotta start drinking cayenne pepper and water and all this.
That keeps them so skinny.
I guess that's a weight loss detox. Fucking whatever it is. I don't know. I wouldn't drink that shit, unfortunately.
Cayenne pepper and water. Man,
that's the elixir. Apparently, I saw on Twitter. I mean, that's the big thing. I guess Morstead or the punter showed him it, and that he was drinking it.
Do whatever the punter said, Aaron. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to drink cayenne pepper for
You
marginal.
know what I really hate about
health benefits. I'm good.
More than anything right now is how he expects everybody to just kind of not give a shit like he does. Like, then we're like, Aaron, why are you guys 3-10 and suck? And he's like, Everyone just relax. It's going to be okay. We got a great group of guys. We're staying together, and everybody's just going to chill, man, and it's going to be great. That's not – no, you're 3-10, and you absolutely suck.
Yeah.
And the rest of your team that was supposed to be good too, they all suck too. So this is your fault. This is your fault, you limey fuck.
Well, there you have it. Matt, great show on this fine Monday. We had Super Bowl champion Tulane alum Sean King on the show earlier. We discussed Shedeur Sanders to the NFL, his transition, his potential. Same with Travis, realistic expectations, and more. Tomorrow on the show, we got a lot to talk about. The transfer portal is officially open. The window is officially open until I believe December 28th, until most major bowls play, including the Alamo Bowl. Colorado takes on BYU. Tomorrow we're going to focus just transfer portal, all things. We already know Colorado is going to make some serious noise in the transfer portal. Matt, before we get out of here, any closing thoughts?
No. I mean, happy Monday and shit. We'll be back tomorrow, talk some more shit. I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that we missed today that we can talk about tomorrow. Someone will do something stupid for us to talk about tomorrow, so that's cool. Throw up that fucking merch thing.
Oh, yeah. And
check this out. It's Christmas, so holly jolly Christmas. Go to 60.com/store, and we're gonna take the old store, and I'm gonna get Bailey hooked up with my guy Jason White, and we're gonna take the new store, and we're gonna fucking flap them bitches together, and there's gonna be a super store of 60 gear. So it's Christmas. Buy your kids some 60 shit right fucking now, if you want to. Sorry, that was a little aggressive.
Well, you heard what Matt said. We have some new merch for the holiday season. Head to 60strength.com/store. Get you some hoodies. You're going to see me and Matt rocking some here shortly. So, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and head on over to 60.
Can you imagine if the Jets actually draft Shedeur Sanders, how fucked up that would be?
We didn't even talk about if the Jets drafted Shedeur.
They would fuck it up so bad.
That's the other thing. God, I can't. We're going to discuss this in the future, but would Deion let that happen?
Oh, there's no way. If Deion was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to the Jets. Congratulations," I'd look at him and be like, "What the fuck? I thought you said you were going to guard your kid from shitty stuff."
Yeah, right. It's all about.
That's why I don't want him to go to the Giants. The Giants are a fucking dumpster fire too. Like there's a problem there. There's something wrong internally. So, but then again, if he goes to the Raiders, he's stuck in like a division with Mahomes, Bo Nix, and Justin Herbert on the worst team. So, and you're definitely, and it's like what Sean King said, you're definitely getting a fucking quarterback or a lame duck coach, not lame dick. Sorry, long night. Lame duck coach that probably won't be there. So, does that give Shedeur the opportunity to pick his coach? Because Tom Brady's involved. Like, would you want to go play for Belichick? By the way, Belichick fucking going and interviewing for the North Carolina job.
Oh boy, what do you got for this?
Dog, there's no fucking way that's going to work. No high school kid, no high school or college kid will be able to handle the way Bill Belichick runs shit. Bill, I want him an NIL deal. I'm going to sit out. Who the fuck are you again? I'm your starting quarterback. Yeah, not anymore. Go ahead and hit the transfer portal. Fuck you. We can win. We won without you. We won with you. We'll win without you.
Yeah,
you're not the reason. Like, Bill, you don't want to come here? Well, you should be coming to us. We don't recruit you. I'm Bill Belichick. Get fucked. Like, this isn't. It's not going to work. There's no fucking way. Did you hear Gronk and Edelman and Brady talking about it?
Hilarious.
They were like, "Do you think it'll work?" And all three of them were like, "No,
nope, nope." I don't know.
No
I mean,
way.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say it can't work. He has a lot of leverage, obviously.
Let me ask this: you think Shedeur is the kind of player that you leverage an entire draft for? Like back in the day, fucking Mike Ditka and all of his splendor traded like 10 picks for Ricky Williams. It was the only draft pick was Ricky.
Right. Yeah.
That was a pretty dumb move, but Ricky was a good. I'm not saying Ricky couldn't play. I'm saying like he's a running back. He's not a quarterback. Right. Is Shedeur the kind of guy that like what's a playoff caliber team that's fighting right now that kind of has shitty quarterback situation?
Well, Sean, this is where
Like Stafford's pretty old in LA. Would you sell out to draft Shador and put him behind Stafford for a year?
I don't think the Rams can do it because the Rams have already sold out once to win a Super Bowl. But one team that I think would do what you just described is who you described with Sean earlier, and that's Dallas. That's the only team, and I think.
How about the Niners? The Niners said instead of paying Brock Purdy, which they're about to have to do, how about you just sell out, trade Brock and all the picks, and try and go get the number 1 pick and draft Shador?
I think the Niners are just going to fall and burn with the quarter they have, and they're just going to keep pushing this Purdy narrative. I don't see them switching up at all. The Niners, no way.
What about you? I keep hearing that Sam Darnold isn't coming back to Minnesota.
Yeah, and they also traded
Daniel
Jones, and they have JJ McCarthy. I just think they got too much shit going on, so I don't see that. I think Vegas, Tennessee, I like what Sean mentioned, is a team that I think could.
Thank you for this. Lobo's the baddest fucking character in goddamn comic books. He's a bounty hunter who's dead, who fucks people up with a big hook. Yeah, I know you don't give a fuck, but I do.
Well, I wouldn't know. I would have no idea.
You don't do comics?
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting debate, Matt. We're going to discuss this more tomorrow, along with transfer portal, recruiting, and so much more. But for those watching, all 1,200 people on all platforms, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and become a member of the Dungeon family.
Stanley, where are you at, dog?
Oh, yeah, Stanley Harris. Stanley Harris, if you're watching, we appreciate you. To everyone else watching, we'll be back right here tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. We got a lot to discuss. But, hey, we appreciate you watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace.
Goodbye.